and we can start off with Ramona's question. And if anybody wants to call in, you're more than welcome to, just like Caroline did. You just the only thing that you need to be aware of is you need to know how to turn the volume off on Ustream so we can talk through Skype, or shut Ustream, or have your headphones in so I can't hear the playback from Ustream. Otherwise you can just call, or you can write a question. I don't mind either way. So the first question from Ramona is, could you talk about death and all the compression we feel when we think about that and when we lose a beloved one? Thank you. So this is the question, Ramona. Who is it that dies? If there's only oneness, and all of this is aliveness, all of this is oneness, all of this is wholeness, then who is it that dies? What happens is a change of forms happen, which is continuously what's happening. There's always forms changing. Forms are always seemingly to go from one form to another form, one form to another form. In a way, there is no fixed form. There is no fixed computer or fixed table or fixed body. Everything's always in movement in the flow of things, seemingly. So who is it that's imagined to die? And you can answer this, Ramona, if you've got anything to say, just type back. If all of this is the same, if all of this is one aliveness, one beingness, one essence, then who is it that dies? The me thinks it knows so many things. The personal dynamic thinks that it knows so many things. It thinks it knows who it is. It thinks it knows who the other is. It thinks it knows the separation. I am this body, mind mechanism, and he is that body, mind mechanism. The me, the personal dynamic, thinks it knows so much. And that's suffering. That me that knows so much. I am this body, mind mechanism. I am a past, I am a future. They are a past, they are a future. And this is what's happening. And the end of boundedness, the end of that suffering energy, that personal energy, is the loss of everything. And in the loss of everything, in getting nothing, it's not even someone getting nothing, but in the loss of everything, everything is left. That sounds insane to the mind. That doesn't make sense to the mind. But what's being talked about here is the loss of everything. What's being talked about here is nothing. So Ramona goes on to say, suffering arises because of the attachment to the forms we know. I wouldn't call it the word attachment. Because attachment implies that there's somebody that's got attachment or not got attachment. That somebody who's attached or not attached is already what's that word again? An exaggeration on what is. Who is the one that has attachments? And loses attachments? Who is the one that thinks it will get liberated or thinks it will die? It's all an illusion. Nobody dies. No one was born. A dream began of somebody, but it was just a dream. Somebody relating to another. Do you think else to say, Ramona? You can keep writing questions if it's not resonating or if you've got anything to say about that. I guess the mind will never understand that, the idea of being nothing, coming from nothing, and going to nothing. Yeah, the minds can only comprehend things. If it were to comprehend nothing, it wouldn't be nothing because it would become another thing. The mind, the me, the personal dynamic can only comprehend something. And this is where all the confusion comes from, because the me's looking for what it thinks it's lost in something. Something. So it's looking in all these things. It's looking in the other, stopping the other from dying. It's looking in the house, the money, sex. It's looking in things to try and complete itself. But it's that me dynamic that's it's the very looking which gives the appearance that this isn't enough, that this is incomplete. But this is wholeness. This is completion. And that dream of someone never existed. It's a waking dream. It's so far out to talk about, though. In a way, Lisa's job is to always fail in talking about this. If you ever think Lisa's correct, then Lisa's really failed at talking about this. It's really not about the words, it's the loss of everything. the loss of everything. It's about nothing. And in the loss of everything, in getting nothing, it's not even getting nothing, it's in the loss of everything. Everything is left. But now everything is it, not just one thing. Everything is it, and no thing. It's so divine, this subject. It's not very popular though, funny enough. Hey, Laurent. It sounds crazy, but there's this kind of maybe some form of remembering or knowing this beyond the words. Like the word everything said, it's in everything, it is everything, and it's nothing. In that, there's some form of knowing of what's being talked about. When the mind goes look what my dog did to my teddy. I had a teddy dog that somebody had bought me as a joke, and it was called Lisa. The dog, this teddy, was called Lisa, and Khaleesi killed it. She ripped out the head and ripped out its bottom. So we've now got dead Lisa. Empty Lisa. Empty of every bit of stuffing. It was like Christmas, it was like snow when I found it. Anyway, I'm sure you guys don't give two hoots about my teddy that was ripped up. My teddy. Look at it, Laurent. Look what she did. It was Lisa. Do you remember Lisa? The little doggy? Laurent's laughing. It's got no face. Okay. Okay, so we're going to Karen. If you've got anything more to say, Ramona, just keep on writing and I'll eventually get around to your questions. Although today I have to leave on time because I've got the dream bus thing afterwards. Okay. There is a clear knowing. This is Karen. There is a clear... Thanks, Ramona. So this is Karen again. There is a clear knowing of what's being talked about here, and an understanding that what seemingly happens to Karen is just as impersonal as the wind moving or not moving the leaves of a tree. Yeah, it's so sweet. Within the story, it seems that since this has been dawning, there are two perspectives happening at the same time. The perspective of Karen with all thoughts and emotions she thinks belong to her, and the one of the knowing that it's all just part of the illusion of existence. Could you talk about the double illusion? Because it seems clear that both perspectives are part of the illusion, but one seems more identified than the other. By the way, Karen loves the Lost program. She used to be a fan of the TV series Lost and finds it very funny that now she's a fan of the Lost program. Love it. Dead empty Lisa. It's a better image than all the words that could appear. Yeah. Sure. So this is an interesting point, Karen, because a lot of teachers, I don't really actually know because I haven't listened to other teachers for a long time. Sometimes I been to a few Tony's talks and a few other people's talks. But there's not too much of listening to the way that other people speak. But from what I understand at the moment in non-duality, what's becoming very popular is this idea of there is a self and there isn't a self, or there is a character and there isn't a character. There is choice and there isn't choice. There is the illusion and there's not the illusion, and that doesn't resonate here. I always say it's neither. It's neither illusion or not illusion. It's just what it is. And what's happening with Karen at the moment is there's been awakening, and then there's meing coming back and disappearing. There's the story coming back and disappearing. And so it gives this weird perspective because there's just this absolute timelessness, and then there's a character which seems to be in control and seems to be having relationships with people. But that's just the dream still carrying on a little bit. Completely agree that it's neither. Still, it's the experience here. Yeah, for sure, and that's the experience there. And it can seem a little bit like a schizophrenic, because at one moment, it can be the most important thing that your partner's, not done the washing up or left the place in a complete mess, and it can seem like the most important thing that he's offended you, that he's hurt you, that he doesn't love you enough, or whatever the stories are running, and it can seem like the most intense anger and rage, and then suddenly, like this, it can all just disappear, and then there's just this again. So it can be a very odd place, because sometimes, seemingly, there's you in relationship with the world, and then sometimes that all disappears, and to the outside world, I would suggest it seems like Karen's become a bit schizophrenic or something, like these two different characters. Yeah, schizophrenic, but okay with it, because it's jumping between these seemingly two different worlds, but it's always timelessness, it's always what is, it's never not what is. It's just this character that jumps back in, and suddenly you are in relationship with another. It doesn't mean that stopping the words to get your partner to clear up don't happen, but it's not you in relationship with your partner anymore. There's not an imagination of you that he's an offending. There's not an imagination of him being a bad person that's untidy and you being offended. There's just clean up your fucking mess and then eating lunch. If you can understand that. That whole relationship, you in relationship with others, fall away. But there can still be the body-mind saying no. It doesn't mean that means body-mind mechanism becomes this passive zombie that's like, yes, yes, I'm laying with my legs open at all times. It doesn't mean, why would it be more yes, the body-mind mechanism, than no? Why would it's not that then the character's just in yes, or the body-mind mechanism's just in yes. It's what falls away is the relationship, you in relationship with other. So everything's just spontaneously appearing out of nothingness rather than appearing out of a past story and peering out of reason and peering out of knowing something. Thoughts of me and the other are there, but also the knowing that it's not real. Yeah, and it's not necessarily the thoughts, it's this energy, more so, this crumbling of this energy. But it's easier to talk about thoughts, but it's this whole package of energy, of thoughts, energy, but thinking can still happen. But it's this energy of personalization. I am in here and he is out there. It's just thoughts and words arise spontaneously and then disappear. And they're not even arising out of nothing. That's even a separation, but far out, how else would I speak about this? It's just this energy of like, once there's blah, 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 and then it's gone. And it's not you in relationship with another. And people interpret that as, oh, what she's saying is I've got to be really passive, which is hilarious because why pick really passive? The mind associates passiveness most of the time, or being okay with everything, as happiness. And I'm not talking about someone being okay with everything. It's the removal of that one. And that one can still be a bad-mooded shit. Not that one, that body-mind mechanism can still be a bad-mooded shit, but it's no longer coming from someone. It's just bad mood, gone. But when there's this flip-flopping energy, this seeming, because it's never really flip-flopping, when there's this seeming flip-flopping energy, it can be a confusing time, seemingly. Because Karen, you might notice that Karen can't stick to what she says at all. Because she'll say, I feel like this, and this is the way it is. And then that dissolves, and then something else appears and says the opposite. There's no fixed self. The me in the past is always trying to appear as a fixed self, and then as that begins to dissolve, there's just response coming in each moment. If you can get what I see. Being passive seems actively suppressing, so the opposite of being passive in a way. Yeah, it is. It is hate in a way, passiveness, because it's an idea of what you should be like rather than what the other should be like, what you should be like, and then trying to live up to that. And it's saying that something is wrong. How can anything be wrong? You could do I watched Dream Bus, the film, last night, and there was a really sweet example of wrong and right. There was this little cartoon on this film of a monkey rescuing a fish from the water, and the monkey says to the fish, I got you out of the water because otherwise you would drown, and then the fish dies. So the idea of rightness or wrongness is just impossibility. If nothing's separate, if everything's one movement, how can there be a right and wrong? There's just what is. Yeah, some of that's still around, but losing its grip. Yeah. Seemingly. Hi, Danny. Afternoon. I think you guys in America are in morning. Seemingly. You heard that. Yeah. Because it does seem that, it can seem that there's a process of falling away, but ultimately, again, there's no process, because where is that process? Saying the same thing. Thanks, dear. Thanks, Karen. Cedric. There's only one Cedric on here now. The idea that there is a resonating when listening to the words of Lisa is an illusion. Yes, you're right, Cedric. It is an illusion. dear. Why would that be real? It's not real. I don't believe that it's the case. Karen says, Cedric, you are funny, seemingly. Everybody hears himself. The resonating is bullshit, illusion. There is nothing that resonates. Only ideas, words, thoughts. Nothing goes from one person to another. That's all bollocks. This isn't Lisa speaking. This is Cedric, by the way. Shall I give you a voice, Cedric? A French accent. That is for the words that wanted to be said here. I don't think I'm very good at the French. But in a nutshell... Oh, sorry, you're not French, are you? You're from Belgium. But you speak French, so we'll do that accent. But in a nutshell, there is nothing that resonates. Resonating is a concept, a word. Yep. I can't disagree there, Cedric. It is a load of bollocks. Everything Lisa has ever said, ever, which is nothing because nothing's ever been said, but seemingly said, is an absolute load of bullshit. A load of bullshit. Everything. 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 There is not 1 ounce of truth in anything that Lisa's ever said. Oh well. And if she's not communicated that well enough, Cedric, then she is shit. I say that having in mind that in the first talks that I listened from you, Cedric said, there is a resonating here. Yeah. Oh dear. It's a funny life, Cedric, isn't it? Okay. Now we go on to Julie. I'm just going to add Matt in. Hi, Julie. Good morning, sweetest Lisa. Are you on here, Julie? Hi, Phyllis. Ah, Julie's on Ustream. You made it. Woohoo! Julie always gets the wrong times, like 7 or 8 hours after the Ustream. She's like, where are you? I can't find you. You're not live. Sometimes 2 days later. I'm laughing at you, Julie. Hello, Danny. We said hello to you already. Hi, Jason. I'd like to get your thoughts on the website Liberation Unleashed. I just recently joined after seeing a video by Laurent recommending it. Thanks. That was when I first met Laurent. He made that video. I think I recorded it. With 2 little Shih Tzus in his lap. Shih Tzus are little dogs. They're not actually called Shih Tzus, but I just like to call them Shih Tzus. They're actually called Shih Tzus. Shih Tzus. Not Shih Tzus. I don't know anything about Liberation Unleashed. Laurent and I talked about it vaguely a few times. It's better to ask like well, it's not better. There's no better, but it's what might work better, Jason, is if there's something that, like, rather than asking directly about a teacher or directly about a group, like just asking something that's resonating or not resonating there, like looking for the eye, or I don't know, something that's questioning in that process. Who's Teddy? Who is this person who owned the teddy? Okay, so then I've got another question in my email box. Just before I start that question, I'm just going to run quickly to the toilet. Okay, we're back. Okay, a question for you. Hi, Lisa. This is from David in Chiang Mai. So the problem is that I think you don't have any special respect or reverence for anything except dogs. Happy. Okay, he's laughing at that. This is David's question I'm reading now. Don't you have a guru? Everybody has a guru, you know? Wink. You also don't seem to offer any method or ways to lose the me. You just seem to brag about that you lost your me, but how does that help me? I believe the me, the I, the mind, and the ego are all the same, but to see the real nature of the mind is to be free. In other words, no need to lose the me, but to know its real nature is what's needed. So the ego has to investigate itself and thus burn itself out until nothing is left. And this is the way that is given up by Ramana and Nisargadatta and every knower of Advaita for the past 10,000 years, you know? Is that the case? Do you agree? Does this sound right? Are we on the same page? So what are your teachings actually? There is no me? How to see that? Is it just a spontaneous realization that comes when you want it so terribly that nothing else is important? I love what you said yesterday, that to know God is to be in a state of perpetual loss. I've been a loser all my life, and that's why I can relate to it. He he he. Wishing you success and happiness, David. Or Dave. Well, there was lots of questions in that. Poo! We got doggy fart again. So, I like this. You don't have any special respect or reverence for anything except dogs. Do you have a guru? Okay, so that's the first question. Don't you have a guru? Everybody has a guru, you know. You're right, in the sense of there is no reverence to anything, David. There is no seeing of higher or lower. So you, David, although there is no you, the computer, and Ramana Maharshi are all the same. Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, Jesus, Jesus Christ, the Queen, the beggar, the poor man, the murderer, the paedophile, the dogs, the Lisa are all the same. It's all oneness. It is all oneness. So yeah, there is no fucking higher. Ramana is not higher than Lisa. Sorry, someone just called. I forgot what I was saying. Ramana is not higher. The beggar is not higher. God is not higher. Nothing is lower. That's all illusion and in dream stuff. I'm not saying that Ramana or Nisargadatta are lower. That's in dream stuff too. I'm not saying either. It even goes one step further than that. Lisa isn't saying anything. Ramana never said anything. David never said anything. This is all a play of nothing. Where was your question? You sort of seem to brag that you lost your me, but how does that help me? I don't ever remember saying that I lost my me. Who would lose their me? That's two separate things again. I lost my me. That's in separation again. There never is a me. There never is a me, David. Where is David right here, right now? Where is David? Where is Lisa? It's all in dreamland. It's like a waking dream. And in the dreamland of David, there's a Lisa that brags. But it's all in David's dream. Of a Lisa out there that brags, and a David in there that's still got a me. And David that's got gurus and higher and lower. How can there be a guru when all of this is the same essence? All of this is aliveness. All of this is oneness. There might be a listening to someone that talks about that. There might be a listening to Ramana or Lisa or whoever it listens to. But it's still not guru, and it's not somebody else knowing something. That's the illusion. There is nobody else. And what are Lisa's teachings? I think that was the next question. Nothing. She is fuck all. She is fuck all. Nothing. Nothing. This isn't about getting something. This isn't about somebody getting something. That's in dreamland. That's what the me sees always. And that's the illusion. I'm going to get somewhere. I'm going to get somewhere. I'm going to get somewhere. And this is what is. This. This. And this is nothing appearing as everything. Or everything appearing as nothing. It works both ways. The me is so funny. It loves to worship or to idol people. And so much of Nisargadatta and Ramana is worshipped now. So much of it's about worshipping them. And it misses the whole point. These high up masters that know so many things. And then there's this stupid girl on Ustream that makes a lot of funny faces. The mind is so always in this dynamic of worship. And the mind loves the exotic idea of Ramana and speaking to the cow and wearing his very little and living in a cave. And it's got nothing, that has got nothing to do with what's being talked about now. Nothing. That's just story, that's all in dreamland. There is no guru. So did I answer all the question? I'm not sure if you're here or not, David, so I don't know if so what are your teachings actually? Oh, I think I answered that. My teachings are nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. That there is no me? Fuck knows. Just whatever comes out is what comes out. A question's asked, a response happens. There's no Lisa here with something solid. There's no David there either. That's the illusion. How to see that? There is no one will see that. There's a falling away of that waking dream. And that waking dream doesn't see this. How could that waking dream see this? It's not a spontaneous realization either. Or grace or whatever else. That's all ideas. It's this. It's always been this. And it's got nothing to do with any words. The me lives in time, in a world of words and language and dreams and futures and past. And it becomes this energy that's so tight inside of the body. And most me's will absolutely dismiss this message because the me dynamic is continuously looking for things to do in order to get somewhere. So it'll hear this and it'll be like, but she's giving me nothing to do. What am I meant to do? I've got to do something. And the me cannot grasp this at all. Because the me's always focusing on things for the future. But she must be giving me, okay, so tell me to be in the present moment then. But that's still a hope that tomorrow will be it, when this is all there ever is. This, what is. But then tell me to be aware of my thoughts. Tell me to do something. The me is desperate to do something. And it's got nothing to do with that functioning. It's what's always been here and always is. And you know what? Fuck Noah of Advaita. I don't even know what that means. Far out. 10,000 years, far out. You can chuck Lisa out of the Advaita club. She's no interest. Okay, let's see if David's on here. Do you have a different name, David? Danny? That's Danny. I don't think David's on Skype. Maybe he's on Ustream. I'll just check. See if he's... Okay. Okay, so Danny, I think I heard you spent time with Ramesh Balsekar. I guess you were attending satsang regularly. Can you speak a little bit about that? Yep, in the Lisa story there seemed to be a few years of going to see Ramesh Balsekar in India. And he was so cute, Ramesh. He was very sweet. So the next question the mind most probably wants to ask, or the me wants to ask, but then wasn't it because of Ramesh, the experience at this present moment? That's the illusion. This moment isn't because of the past. Everything is appearing and disappearing in this. In this. It's not that this is appearing because of the past. All of this appears in it, from nothingness, not because of something from the past. So Lisa's not liberated because of some teacher or some teachings in the past. That's all in La La Land. There is no Lisa. There's just aliveness. There's just beingness expressing. There's just what is. It's always been what is. It's never been anything else but this. And in this all forms appear and disappear. It's not the other way round. This isn't appearing because of the past. Did it help? And did you get to know crazy Wayne Lickerman? No, I never got to know Wayne Lickerman. I think he was there once at the same time, but just for his birthday or something, Ramesh's birthday. Help is all in La La Land. It's like right and wrong. It's like, how can it be stood outside of and looked at in that way? There's only what's happening. Help is an idea of separation. That there's a possibility that something can help another thing. How? If it's all oneness, how can one thing affect another thing? It's all the same thing. It's all atoms appearing and changing movement. There's no space outside of those atoms though, it's all aliveness, it's all oneness. But that doesn't mean to say that going to Ramesh or going to Lisa will or won't happen. That's not what's being talked about here. Or that it's pointful or pointless. It's just life happens and whatever it is what it is. And God knows how and why. It's not the answering this at the end of suffering, it's the falling into that big fat question mark of what the fuck. I know that you are going to say, so I really don't have any questions. I know what you're going to say, so I really don't have any questions. You look very pretty today. I like your shirt. Oh, thanks, Danny. It's very cute, isn't it? I got it at a flower show. This lady handmade it. Very sweet. That's an idea though that you know what I'm going to say. speaking happens. God knows what it is. Just accept this. Oh. Lisa, this is from Jason. Lisa, what is the difference between knowing without doubt that there is no separate self and actually seeing, experiencing it? Or is there a difference? It's not, there is no knowing without doubt. That's all in thought form. There is no somebody that will know without doubt or see or experiencing. That what happens is that separate energy falls away and then there's just oneness. There is no separateness between the seeing and the hearing, the looking and the looked at. It's all one movement. So nobody will ever know this. It's not about faith or believing in this. It's the way it is. It's not that the words are the way it is. Like even the word oneness fails it, but it's the removal of something, it's not the getting of something. Another question, you probably will have nothing to say to this as it's irrelevant and you have no reason to know the answer, but it's something I'm curious about. Is the play of life predetermined, like the story has already been written, or is it completely random and spontaneous? It's spontaneous. But it appears in logic and cause and effect. But it's spontaneous. But it normally appears in cause and effect. But Ramesh, I'm sure you're talking about Ramesh, used to talk about predetermination. And my sense was, although poor Ramesh isn't, well, poor Ramesh can't say against us now, my sense is that was his way of trying to explain or trying to question that one that's always trying to sort out the future and control the future. Ramesh used to really focus in on chooser and doership and the one that's choosing. And predetermination is very Indian. Okay, I guess you will have something to say to it then. No, I'm not very familiar with Ramesh. Oh, well, that's... Ramesh used to talk about predetermination. And I think at first, when Lisa first started talking, she most probably used to say the film's already in the can. Like there is no time. It's all done. But then again, it's not done because it's spontaneously happening now. Like, I mean, but this is appearing as it is. And it's always going to be the story it's going to be. It's never going to be a different story. The mind's always trying, the me's always trying to work out how to make it different, how to control it. It's always assuming that it's in control, when it is just an illusion to give a certain experience of self and other. Anything else to say? I'm waiting for you, Jason. Someone says there can still be gratitude and respect. No. No. No gratitude, no respect. Gratitude and respect is all in dreamland. Someone has given me something, I am grateful. Someone is better than me, I respect them. This is about loss. Whose gratitude? Whose respect? And the mind goes, well, she's so arrogant. Because then it takes the opposite side and says, well, what she's saying is she knows it all. she's not respecting people. Oh, but it's not what's being said. This is a loss program. A loss program. Anyway, sorry, back to Jason. No, I'm not very familiar with rest. Yes, about the energy. 31 ins up. Are we talking about the cricket? Are you watching cricket while I'm talking, Jason? He's not got any respect. No. Caroline's saying the echo is quite intense on Ustream. Caroline, just try it. I'm just going to hang up and see if that makes it any better. Does that make it... Oh, I see. You said 3 lines up. No, not 31 ins up. Hi, Caroline.
Hello. I don't know what you've done, but it is much, much better.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, you didn't do anything?
I just hung up Skype. It might be the Skype that's making echo for you.
Ah, peut-être. Yes. Okay. Thank you for the suggestion. But if
what you can do is just mute the volume on the Skype.
Yeah, okay.
When you're not speaking to me, and then I think it will stop it echoing. But it might also be that I need to turn the volume down on Ustream, because sometimes Lisa shouts or I shout, and it makes the whole thing go fuzzy.
Okay.
I get overexcited and raise my voice. But I think it's to do with turning your volume off on Skype, if you can work out how to do that.
I can turn off the volume. I'll try and find
It's just next to the camera one that, you know, where you switch off the camera, you switch off the volume there.
Okay, I mute the microphone.
Yeah, and then when you want to ask a question, you can just unmute it.
Yes, okay.
All right.
And I just wanted to ask you if you could expand a little bit. I got lost with the respect and the gratitude and the loss.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yep, sure, I will do. So what I was saying was, is that gratitude and respect tend to be somebody having gratitude and somebody having respect for somebody else, where this is all oneness, this is all absolute intimacy, and so to say I have gratitude or I have respect for someone is separation again. Somebody's, like another body's mind actions is not separate from Caroline's actions. It's not a separate movement. So there's nobody to have respect for. There's no one to have gratitude for. It's all happening in oneness. It's all the same movement. The character can have gratitude and respect, like the me dynamic can have gratitude and respect. But that doesn't mean that the body-mind mechanism doesn't say thank you or doesn't appreciate it in some way, like appreciate. Sorry, I'm getting confused, Caroline, because you've got your video going. You could just turn off the video, because I can only see your forehead though, and now I can see your eyes. There you go. So it doesn't mean that thank you or that was kind of you doesn't come out of the body-mind mechanism, but as soon as it goes into stories, and gratitude is normally a story, it's me grateful to someone else. Who is this me grateful? There's no two-ness. There's no somebody that's helping you. The hearing and the heard is the same thing. So what Lisa's saying is the same thing as hearing. So the speaking that's coming out of Lisa's mouth is the same dynamic and same movement as the hearing of the speaking. It's not separate. I don't know if that makes any more sense. So this is always a loss program. It's not about being grateful to someone. It's not about somebody helping you. It's the loss of everything. I should be telling you all the opposite though, and saying, yes, it's all down to Lisa. All come to my retreats or whatever it is. But it's not. There is no separation. It's all oneness. But I think I was answering Jason's question, and poor Jason got lost there when I was speaking about gratitude and respect. Hi, Satya. Please excuse me, everyone, with the names. Sometimes Lisa's not very good at pronouncing the names. If it sounds like your name, it most probably is it, even if it's not pronounced properly. Does the energy fall, this is from Jason again, does the energy fall away when the time is right? I had already asked that, why I said 3 lines of Lalo. I was trying to type too fast. I was only joking with you, Jason, because one day, this is just a story, but one day when I was doing a talk, I was watching tennis in the background. I was openly admitting I was watching the tennis as well. It was, I think, Andy Murray in the finals or near the finals or something, I can't remember. Anyway, so does the energy, it doesn't fall away when the time is right because there is no time. Time is a dream now. Where is time, Jason? And the me and the time exist together. So it doesn't fall away when the time is right or because of grace. It's never freaking happening. Oh, you saw that too. It's never happening. The me is a dream happening here in this. It's never actually happening. It's so convincing, this dream, though, because it comes with energy. It's just like the dream at night. I'm just dog sitting and just be noise and barking. I think I just have to go and check on the little dog. She's a little old and
What's up, Monday?
we've got a Matley. Go away, Khaleesi. This is little Matley. She was just having a bark. Khaleesi, go away. So back to Jason. Okay, but you say it falls away, so if there's no time, has it already fallen away? I know, Jason, this seems like such an insane thing. It's never happened. You have never happened. You've never happened, Jason. You were never born. You never went to school. You never worked. You never got your university degree. It never happened. In this appears images and ideas of it, but it always appears in this. It's always only this. And that's the illusion of self. In this, ideas and images and energies appear, giving the appearance of time. But it's always this. This is what is, and in this, spontaneous creation is happening, is appearing and disappearing. When you wake, if we talk about a dream at night, because it's very similar, the me dynamic, to the dream at night. When there's waking up in the morning, did it ever happen? Even though it seems so real. It was only a daydream. And that's what the me, the Jason character is right now, a daydream, a waking daydream. Madly, Laurent's screaming. So the me never really falls away, even though I talk about falling away. But it never really falls away because it never happened. And yeah. Okay, thanks. It's never really going to make sense though. I mean, we're talking about nothing here, we're talking about loss. So it's never really going to make that much sense because the me only focuses on what it can get. The me is like a getting machine. What can I get? Get. Hi Lisa, when are you again in Amsterdam? Hi TS, I am in Amsterdam on the 16th, 17th and 18th of August. So next month, maybe about a month today. Okay, no, but even talking of loss requires the idea of time. I know, Jason, I know. It's you want to go on the bed, sweetie? That's so true. Even saying this implies then and there. It's a loss that's never really happening. And this bit, I mean, most of it actually, what I say, is never going to be got intellectually. There's so many holes in it. Jason says, don't worry, move on to someone else. No, I'm going to stay on Jason. Yeah, Andrew, sorry, I only just, yeah, you can watch them on, oh no, you can't. In fact, it's very funny that all the process that Cedric went through concerning the relationship with Lisa, in the beginning there was a great resonance here. Then I'm in love with Lisa. Then I'm no more in love with Lisa. And finally today, nothing resonates ever. Never. And all that in a few weeks. All of that was very nice. Mistake, I wrote through instead of through. It's okay. I read it the same. And it never really happened. It's all happening here. It didn't even happen in a few weeks, Cedric. It happened in this. Come on, Jason, I can feel there's more. Lisa, is this dream busting going to be streamed live? How to watch? Or, I think you can watch, Jason. Live. It's going to be recorded and put onto Buddha at the gas pump. Yeah, Renee, you can call now. Yeah, sure. But I think it is. I'm going to be speaking to. Write me a message and saying, can I join on Skype at about 10 to 4. It's now 20 past 3. Because afterwards I'm going to connect with them and then I'll try and add you in, but more than likely this mind will forget if you don't write to me and remind me. But I think you can join as well. I think anyone can join. Hi Lisa, can I call now? Yeah, go for it, Renee. When you realise the self. Hi Lotus. Oh, Hi Renee.
Hi. Oh wait.
I'm just going to go on to red, guys, but you can still write me messages. Sorry, I'm just talking to people on. I'm just on red on Skype, but still carry on writing your messages. It's just so it doesn't keep going beep 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 beep. I'm just talking to everyone else, Renee, not you.
Oh yeah. I'm wondering. Okay, the echo. I turned off the. Oh, maybe I didn't turn it off.
I can't hear an echo.
Okay.
There's a volume on Ustream just to, I think, to the left-hand side, just by the play button. But I think you've done it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
So.
You look like you're in a cabin.
Yeah, this is actually I'm helping my friends. I'm out east in Vermont because
nice.
I normally live in Idaho, and yeah, actually I'm gonna. Well, I wish everyone could see this cabin, but I'm moving because she's.
Oh, it's very sweet.
Yeah, her husband made it. That's my little room over there. Sorry, people. Oh, she stopped mowing now. But anyways, it's this really cute little place.
Oh yeah, it's sweet. Very sweet.
And it's really interesting being here.
Oh, it's big.
Like before, she's an old friend from grade school, and I've kind of been on my own journey for a while, but with new friends out in this other place I was at. Anyways, I was really focused for a while on doing things right, not, reading, Buddhism and things like that, and trying to, not do intoxicants and really trying to, like not drinking, like, anything at all. And, trying really hard to do things right, and whatever that, I thought there's all these ways of beings and being more silent and not hanging out with certain people, all these things. Well, I know it just happens, but it's so strange. And I know you're saying, help doesn't happen, but I feel like, since I met you, I don't know, and um, more, what's happening late is that um, it's sort of being amazed at what I say and do now.
Yeah.
Before it seemed like I'm a good person, doing things right, and there's.
And there really isn't doing it all right. There's just a suppression. There's an idea that comes about of this is how it should be. And it might even be that those things that you think were wrong, they come from an idea of they're just ideas seemingly piled on top of each other. And it just deadens everything. It's all ideas. But then even what I was saying about helpful is what it requires, it requires an image of before you met Lisa, and then an image now after you've met Lisa, and a comparison. And how's that known? It's not really known. Seemingly we could say maybe there's been a falling away of ideas in the story, but it all requires comparison, and we don't know because we only know this, and images arising in this, so that idea might, or the thought or something might come out that says, okay, things have changed for the better now, and that's said now, but we don't know that. All we ever know is now. We don't know past and future. It's always questionable.
See, and that piece, what you just said to Jason, that it happens in this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get that. It sort of.
But it's not something that can be got because it's the way it is. Has it ever not been this?
Right.
The mind associates this as forms. So what Lisa's saying is it's always been this log cabin, which it has always been this log cabin, but it's always been these certain forms. Forms appear and disappear. Forms are always in movement, but they're appearing in this. So I'm not talking about forms always being the same, although in another way you could say they are always the same because there's no movement happening, but forget about that. We're just going to stick to this bit at the moment. It's always been this. When's it not been this? Beingness.
Right, the beingness.
Aliveness.
That I know.
Which is absolutely timeless. And then forms seemingly are always changing, but they're not at the same time because it's always this. And the imagination of the last form is an imagination arising now, here, of a last form.
Yeah.
It's always this. And the imagination of a future is an imagination rising now, giving the appearance of lots of movement and lots of past and future. And then at the same time, forms always seem to be in movement, but the movement's never really happening. It's always ultimately stillness.
Yeah, and what seems to be happening, and I it's hard not to equate, and maybe it's from being with this old friend, and it's sort of just being, well, I'm sort of amazed at I guess at what comes out of my mouth or what I do, we're around all these other new people, or I just feel, less in control of myself or something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not,
but that's the way it's always been. It's just that there's always been this cap on it saying, I am in control, I am in control.
Right.
And it seems that in this that dynamic's falling away, but ultimately it's not, because this whole imagination of being with them and having less caps is all imagination now, giving the appearance of somebody that actually exists in the world and is separate from other things.
Yeah. And I can't help but think it's related to you as well, or the residents.
Yeah. But that's all ideas put onto this. This is mystery.
Yeah.
This is mystery. And there's nothing wrong with those thoughts. Well, they're appearing, but then they're gone again and there's drinking tea.
I know. It does seem like
it might seem like it's related, but it's ultimately not.
Well, and that really, there's just the silence. It's hard to say the words, but there's just the silence, and there's not, the character does as it does, and the things happen.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know.
And the me's always trying to relate it back to somebody in time.
Yeah. But,
Somebody in time.
I guess I need water. We're gonna go back in to my room. But anyways, I really, yeah. I mean, and I'm glad you talked about the grateful thing, but this character is really grateful, even though I guess it's not related,
But the gratitude, the me dynamic thinks that the gratitude is for Lisa and then has an image for Lisa. But it belongs to nothing. Gratitude, everything belongs to nothing. It doesn't belong to a thing.
Yeah. But then, I guess, and related to what Karen said, and about the two parts of the one. It's almost like the one watching the character now, and not really. And I talked about that last time. Not caring as much, Sometimes I don't know. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like there's less thinking, and I guess that's what my question more was about. Like,
but all of this isn't known that there's less thinking. It's not even known that there's somebody watching a character. That's only known in thoughts. Right here, this can't be described. Words can come out, thoughts can come out, but that's not actually it. The only thing is mystery, and even mystery is a way to sum up. The personal dynamic is always trying to make sense, and I assure you this is absolutely senseless. But it is really crazy when that character that's making sense of everything, it keeps popping its head up, so it collapses, and then there's just this, and then suddenly everything contracts again, and then there's a me there that's in time, and it feels like this is a little bit crazy because there's just everything happening, and then suddenly it's happening to someone, and that is a seemingly crazy place to be in.
Yeah.
It's like the dream at night, how that happens. It's like that's just suddenly appearing in the daytime, that dream at night, and it really is like that. That dream at night is suddenly appearing in the daytime, and then it disappears, and there's just this, and then it appears again, and it disappears, and it feels like two different worlds, and it really does give the appearance of two different worlds. Like the dream at night really feels like it's happening, but it's a dream.
Yeah. So it seems like a big, roller coaster show.
Seemingly.
Hold on. I mean, you don't even know.
Yeah, it seems like that, and then there's just sensation happening. There's touching lip, there's looking at Lisa, there's speaking happening, there's hearing happening, there's light happening.
Yes. I mean,
I don't let anywhere for that mind to go, do I? It tries. It's like, oh.
Which is good. I mean, I think it's good.
And then you're like, light, smells.
Yeah. I just want to thank you.
But thank you too. It's not a thank Lisa. It's a thank this.
Yeah, exactly. This, that, whatever. I know. I can't even words that doesn't even do it.
Yeah.
I mean, to why or what or who or.
Yeah.
But yeah. But thank you. It's good to thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Good to see you again.
And connect, and your words really. I mean, whatever it is resonates and is working, whatever that means. But
yeah. Oh, much love to you.
Much love. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. There's lots of questions, guys, that I haven't answered, but I really have to go now because I'm doing this Dreamvus interview. But please come again on Wednesday, and you can ask them again then. I won't remember to answer them on Wednesday. You have to write it again and send it again, otherwise I'll just forget. So as long as I see a number by your Skype name, then I'll go and answer the question. So please write them again. But thank you, everybody. And as usual, this is recorded, and you can watch it on YouTube or Ustream it again later. And I should do some advertisements. I've got a talk coming up in London on the 11th of August, and talks in Amsterdam on the 16th of August, and talks in Berlin in September, I forget the dates, and talks in Belgium in October. So yeah. Thanks, guys! Oh yes, and the Dream Bus thing, I've got that at the end of August. Yeah, forgot about that one. Alright, much love. Bye!